Viewers, welcome to our Wapadela live show for today. It's indeed the time on 23rd May. This is one interesting live show where everyone actually is free to participate. And when I say free, this is an inclusive program. And I'm sure you're all surprised to see started it in a different way. Remember, it's an inclusive show. That means anyone will be able to participate on the show to make sure that we promote the inclusivity of the show. Now, what is Wapadela all about? I'd like to give you a short brief of the show. We want to bridge the communities of the disabilities and persons without disabilities. Back then has been believed in to say that when somebody has got a disability, they cannot do anything, neither do them interact with persons with disabilities. And here is this show which has come to break such kind of beliefs and norms, and ours to see that together we integrate and bring up something that will be so beneficial and build up the community. Remember, without the ideas of persons with disabilities or the ideas of people without disabilities, we cannot progress. And that's the reason as to why we would want to tell you about this show. And not to forget, my name is Blessing Sokauta, and to help me on this show, I'm with my colleague who is the sign language interpreter, Peter Zimba. Today, we're going to look at the most interesting topic on accessibility to Srhr, which is sexual and reproductive health rights. And how is it so available? And what is it all about? What is it involved? As it's all known and believed in to say that deaf people is actually the type of the disability which receives information at last hand through the sign language interpreter. And we'll be so delighted and glad to have persons with disabilities and the health care providers under sexual and reproductive health right to come and discuss, give us the highlights and the details on how it can be so accessible for persons with disabilities. What is it all about? So sexual and reproductive health right does not just involve about the reproduction itself. Remember, it's sexual and reproductive health rights. So we are talking about health services also. So that will involve also, could it be HIV testing? We have like what is cervical cancer screening. We have PEP and PrEP, fibroids, fungus, women, persons with disabilities. Are they all aware about that? Remember, when you talk about persons with disabilities here, our main interest is to make sure that persons with disabilities and people without disabilities are moving on the same page. And no wonder it's our core value as Wapadela to make sure that we promote the equal quality inclusion. So stay tuned actually for more interesting topics as we are going to discuss on Srhr accessibilities by persons with disabilities, as we are going to have a representative or the guest from Mutendele Youth Friendly Space. It has been an interesting friendly space. We've not interacted with many, but most of the friendly space that we've had recently, we've seen so much progress on Tendera Youth friendly space that have come up on board and actually give themselves freely to discuss and actually bring more fire to see that indeed even us, we can do better and we're able to bridge the communication and also bring inclusion for everyone. One more important thing, this show is so interesting, and for it to be more interesting, we need your support. And viewers out there, feel free. This is an interaction program where we have the sign language interpreter and also the deaf as is going to present the show. For it to continue with its interesting and interest, we urge you all, media houses, different institutions, organizations, private and government, to say that Wapadela is actually available for sponsorship, just like you're able to see on the screen. More details and actually more information, you're able to reach us on the number 0974 758855. 0974 758855 is the number that you can call us for more details, or if you want to interact with us right now, right here on this show. So please catch us on Facebook page. You can also catch us live, as you don't know, you're watching us on Litovia, Topsa channel number 6. Please, you can give us the message or a call, or you can still send us the text on the link, that is if you're watching it using the Facebook page or the YouTube. We don't know which media that you are using, but please, for participation, you can use all those means. And so interesting to see that very soon we'll be entering and we'll be celebrating International Day for Persons with Disabilities, remaining with about 5 months in between, if not 6 months, so to say, yeah, 5 months to 6. So remember, that day, it's not just for persons with disabilities, but for everyone who feels like they can come and participate in the disability communities. Remember, this is so interesting. It's not just about one wanting to learn sign language on how they can communicate, not really, but also for you to relate well with persons with disabilities. We urge you all to come interact with us on this show, interact with persons with disabilities. We already know that you have the community of which we call the persons without disabilities community, what they believe in and so forth. And persons with disabilities, be it the deaf, people with visual impaired, physical disabled, they have all those communities which you can actually interact and be with, so that you can learn much and so interesting. So remember, Wapadela actually, we got it from the theme that persons with disabilities themselves says, we are also special. Why should you just give the focus on people without disabilities? Since we are also special and we can participate in almost all the affairs and the livelihood of anyone, as long as is a person living on earth. We are so special. No wonder we drive that word, Wapadela, as to promote the local languages and also indigenous language of our Zambia community. So it's so interesting to see that even as we have people to participate, Zambo, Kambako, different languages, and that's why in my language, to confuse my sign language interpreter here, we say that neuna munichubu buchuna kuhita munjila. We're looking at kuna kuizanjita. So anyway, for the sake of my interpreter, I'm saying that we say that once you see the aunties crossing the road, know that there is battle, war coming up. Now, this is not the war, battle that brings in bloodshed or maybe grief or what, but this is the battle that brings in smile and interest, because Wapadela actually highlights those numerous issues. Could it be health, education, social welfare, everything? Imagine you are working there as a a police officer and then a deaf person comes to tell you to say that I was attacked, how would you react? Or maybe you want to give a deaf person the directions on what they should do to handle their lives or to protect themselves. How will you do it? Many people, most of us, we say that when I speak, the deaf people can't hear. But the fact of it is that we can speak, the deaf people can actually hear us, or the deaf people would want to communicate to us, but it's us who cannot hear them. And therefore, we would want to urge you to make sure that if you learn, participate, and have an interaction with persons with disabilities on this show, it's going to be a beginning, actually. And so, interesting to see it's odd that we are moving on one pace and not to leave anyone behind. Last time I was at the facility, and then a parent with disabilities, okay, let's just say a deaf person, yeah, he came. And then, you know, there's all those issues of confidentialities, yeah, but how is it for him to just explain it so well to the health worker? Because, you know, telling me privates, some issues with the private parts like that, you want to express. But because the child is somebody with a disability, the interpreter is a child, it's so difficult for the parent to express him or herself because of that. And now the question of discussion which we are going to have during this discussion is that, will it be possible or better? Look out to this question as we are going to discuss more in detail with our guests. Will it be better for youth-friendly spaces, health facilities, to train health workers in sign language, or bring a deaf person who can be actually a focal point to handle such kind of issues? So that means that deaf person needs to be trained in healthcare providing services. And the third one is, should we actually bring in a sign language interpreter as the mediator or the communication, to offer the communication gap between the deaf people coming to acquire the services or the healthcare providers? Which one do you think you are going to, would you suggest to promote? Train healthcare providers in sign language? We train a deaf person to be a focal point who will be focusing on such areas. That means in almost of all the facilities or friendly spaces, they should have such kind of people, yeah. Or should we bring a sign language interpreter who will always be there? The answer to that question actually will come from you, the viewers, there, as you come to give us your comments and as we interact together. And also, we look forward to hear the answer from our guests, as we are going to have and to hear more what they have been doing and their suggestion that they have been having lately, to see how inclusive they have been and how best they have been trying. We know that you can just come up with everything at once. Boom. No. But we start bit by bit, bit by bit. They cannot do it perfect to the level that we could expect them to be, but gradually, bit by bit, we can give them a thumb up so that we see on how together we can actually help and promote the inclusivity and make sure that no one is actually left behind on the issues of life. That was about health. And then Timveleni Wapadel will also look at other issues on health, education, yeah. Accessibility, how has it been so accessible for persons with disabilities to acquire the education that they would need? Most education or schools, do they have ramps? Or how has been the facilities? Persons with disabilities, how are the schools been for them, for persons with disabilities to reach to those schools? Have they been so nearby? then accommodation and movement. Let's say somebody on a wheelchair, somebody using the wheelchair, or let's say a deaf person, or maybe somebody using crutches. How are they? Have they been having some challenges? So that is actually another topic that we are going to look out to discuss, and we're hoping that next week we continue with the same topic now with different stakeholders, and we look forward to have actually Zambia agents for persons with disabilities, whom we are also supposed to have today as one of the best and the biggest guests we could have. But then we thought of having them next week, as first we look at section productive health, right? Because that is also another important for people with disabilities to know about their health services. But we look forward to next week, as we are going to discuss more details on those kind of facilities. Are they disability friendly for the persons with disabilities to acquire the best education? And if we talk about accessibility in education, the teachers being employed, are they conversant with sign language? Are they really good into special services? We don't want these thoughts of, the teacher has been scolding, the teachers have been going out, missing classes because of that child who is with a disability in class. So we want to make sure that we look at it nicely, and stay tuned and be groomed as we'll be discussing those points. So please, we urge you not to miss out every time we have the show. Remember, the show is every Fridays, the same time, 15 and so forth. We'll be bringing in different people, and if you would also wish to come and discuss with us on a certain topic, or to clarify a point that you thought it hasn't been done so forth or done so nicely, remember to reach us on the same number, which is 0974 758855. Give us a call, SMS, or WhatsApp to interact with us. Apart from that, also Wapadela will discuss about, remember, accessibility. This is a wide range, wide topic. Persons or the wheelchair users, how has it been, the mobility to move from one point to another? You know that it's not everyone who has private vehicles. Most depends on the public transport.
Live show for you.
How are they been moving with their wheelchairs or their crutches? Try to wonder, have you ever thought of that? Or maybe it's just me who is trying to think much on those areas, like, no, it's gave me more thoughts actually to think and to see how it has been for them. And this is what we are going to look out to, as we are going to have Zambia Agents for Persons with Disabilities Inspector. We hope more to come in here to see on how we can discuss on how has it been. Away from that, we have WASH, which is water, that is WASH, water, sanitation and hygiene, WASH. So we know that every person has got the right to clean water and maintain the hygiene. We've been hearing the reports of the borehole has been dug, has been donated. We've been hearing of different items to be given, to be donated. Are they really disability friendly? Or are persons with disabilities together with the people without disabilities being consulted to see if indeed such kind of a project can be mounted or can be put on the location where everyone actually is able to participate or able to have the access to water and clean water, and also to maintain the hygiene? Just to think deep with you, I was just looking at it. We are talking about hygiene, and then here is a person in the wheelchair or the wheelchair user washing the hands, and then they would want also to move. And by moving, they need the wheelchair to be moved, and they use their hands to move the wheelchair. I don't know how we can do that to actually promote the the hygiene, yeah, the hygiene on persons with disabilities. So please, with me, think much deep with me. And if I'm thinking too much, you tell me to say, no, Blessing, Sokauta, you're thinking too much on that one. But I think if we think like that, maybe it can help us to have the better accessibilities for all. When we talk about accessibility, not just about the persons with disabilities, no. Imagine why they could just create something specifically for persons with disabilities, which I believe that you and I who are not, who don't have disabilities, who have challenges to access such kind of facilities, because it's only specified for persons with disabilities. But if we have something that has been built for everyone to have that access to, we can enjoy. You know, where we're still talking on the water tap, tank, or maybe somewhere, something like that, have been placed, a basin have been placed on a higher point now. Imagine someone with a wheelchair, how are they going to wash their hands to clean? It's been so difficult. So that is another issue that we are going to discuss on this show today, and also to make sure that if not, then we are going to have it much in details next week and other days. Remember, not just with these people that with this institution that we've talked about, Mutende Youth Friendly Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities, no. Everyone, remember, we're urging you all viewers to say that you can reach to us, tell us what you'd want and what has been your experience and suggestions on such kind of topics. So our idea is to make sure that everyone have the better access. Remember, like we said, we want this show to be an interesting show where we cater almost all the livelihood of a person, and for it to be much interesting, we urge you all, those who can, capable to actually come up with the sponsorship. The show is available for sponsorship. You can reach us on the number that is scrolling on your screens. Yeah, so interesting that we can actually reach out to a lot of people. Our idea is actually to make sure that everyone, everywhere has been reached out to. We have different skills. Entrepreneurs, remember, how are they going to have this access, and how can they know that they need to have some schemes that they need to attach to with the little profit that they make every time they make their businesses? How are they to know if your institution or company offers such kind of services? This is an opportunity. This is the show that actually will highlight such kind of programs that you offer through this show. And it will be so interesting to have you come on the board. Persons with disabilities also come on the panel, so that you hear the challenges they've been experiencing to actually reach out to your services. Just think of it. The services that you offer, about the schemes or everything. Do you have the statistics of persons with disabilities, or do you have people with disability who have been participating on those kind of services? If they haven't been participating and attending or acquiring such services, this is the time to think about it. Think about it, and then come on here together. We talk about it. So this is very interesting as Wapadera. Remember, not just persons with disabilities who are so special as Wapadera to attend to these kind of topics. Even you are also special, because you are the providers of people with such kind of ideas and innovative ideas. So away from what we've talked, also remember, we're also going to look at menstrual hygiene to school-going children, yeah, with persons with disabilities. Here is a girl child, yeah, who is physically disabled, doesn't have the hands like that, the proper way to say, yeah, and then she begins her menses just there at school, how are they going to maintain menstrual hygiene? Or are there some services or something that have been put in place to make sure that persons with disabilities, if such was to occur to them, the girls with disabilities, if that was to occur, do they have a rescue kind of like? We don't want to bring shame, because we've been having the reports of most of them to be dropping out of school because of the stigma that has been coming because of that. And some, they've been saying, no, me, others are laughing at me because of this and that. And that has been the report that we've been having. And no wonder this WAPA actually was so interesting that we discuss on such kind of issues to make sure that everyone has got the better information and equal access. Think about that, which I've just talked of. Somebody with a disability then starts having those, she's on her periods, and then how are we going to help? How are we going to? So we have expertise. Remember, someone with a disability, that is a psychological issue to others. On top of that, you add up what has happened. That is another psychological issue, and bring on forth to mental health. So that, how are we going to do it? It's so difficult. So no wonder, look out to that, as we'll be discussing much about those kind of issues here on our show as WAPA, which is also available for sponsorship if you want some more interesting topics. And also, if you want to give out something, you feel like, okay, WAPA, he has a show, WAPA. So WAPA has been also being brought to you by Timveleni Multipurpose, which is Teams, as you're able to see on the corner there, on the logo there, Teams, yeah, which has been actually pushing the WAPA and also see to it that some issues and whatever that we can bring in, we bridge the gaps of disability and the so-called able-bodied. So you can reach out to say, do we have a community where we can go out to, we can make the outreaches, or some people that would want to help with those services, let's say at school. We have those. We have those. You can reach us. We can, together, we can do better. And alone, the Bemba said, "Umunwe umota usalenda." I don't know how I can interpret that in English, okay, but I'm sure my interpreter had put it also into sign language for everyone to understand it. Okay, yeah, so in short, it promotes unity and working together. Tiende pamozi. This is so interesting. This is so interesting. So apart from that, mental health, as we've discussed about, we've just touched a bit of it. So these are some of the things that we talk about as WAPA. Remember, we don't want to leave anyone behind. Very soon, we'll be having the results. Those who will be writing exams will see how the results will be. And normally, a lot of persons with disabilities that have been having challenges to have to pass. Some they have been having challenges to pass, and because of the backgrounds where they are coming from, imagine a child has been born locked inside the house because of the disabilities, and then from there comes up with that shame, actually, the shame of actually failing exam. Ish, it has been so tough. It's been so tough. Yeah, so we look forward to say that, okay, we bring in people, psychologists. We don't want to hear the reports of suicide, depressions, as early as somebody could be, has been young as somebody could be, developed like depression, those ages. Then back then we just, somebody to have hypertension, BP, that those days, we know that this person is very old. But nowadays, somebody younger than me, they've been having those issues. Yeah, so we don't want such. We see how actually can we reduce such kind of reports on depression, suicide, yeah, so forth. Because the members, they said imiti kula empanga. So we, the youth, are the future generation. Then they used to tell us that the future is in your hands, but proudly we can say that this is the future. So we don't have to look more future, more time to come for the future. Yes, those who think like that, yeah, you can think like that, it's good. But as for us, the future we were told of, this is the future now we have. And it's in your hand, you and I, to make sure that we protect each and every one of us amongst us, and make sure that together, be it with the disability or without the disability, we move on and live forever. Remember, this is Wapadela live show that comes every Fridays, actually from 15 to 16. Continue to support us and actually to be glued to this show, as we'll be discussing different issues, some of them which we have talked about already. Deaf children, persons with disabilities, they would want to be moving and cross the roads, but how are they going to be moving and to be aware of, if they are not well educated on how they can handle those issues? And not to forget, we are going to have Anti-Corruption Commission very soon. We don't know when, but very soon we are going to have Anti-Corruption Commission to discuss about issues of corruption. And actually, what will happen, what has been happening is that there are those issues of who could hear of, because persons with disabilities, it's duty free. Exploitation has been happening. How do we know? Can we know that this is exploitation, or what are the consequences which are there? So we look forward actually to such kind of issues as we are going to be discussing with different stakeholders. And please, if you know something, reach to us on the number on your screen. It's very actually available. You can call at any time if you want to have an interaction with us, or maybe if you think that in your area there is something that you'd want us to talk about or to think about, please tell us so that we can come and handle that issue together. Viewers, this is Wapadela, and it's been so interesting to have you on this show at this time, and we look forward next time as we are going to have the same kind of discussion now in details. Remember, this is the same location, the same TV station, and also the page, the social media page that we'll be discussing. I've been your presenter, Blessing Sokauta, and with me, with sign language interpreter Peter Zimba, we're so delighted and saying that bye-bye to everyone and much love to you all. See you more, and stay tuned to your most interesting TV station, Litovia. Movie TV Bouquet brings you another interesting live show starting on 9th May. Every Fridays, 15 hours to 16 hours. Catch us live on Ask Movie TV, or better still, on Topstar Channel 96 on Litovia. Wapadela, an interesting live show for you. Movie TV Bouquet brings you another interesting live show starting on 9th May. Every Fridays, 15 hours to 16 hours. Catch us live on Ask Movie TV, or better still, on Topstar Channel 96 on Litovia. Wapadela, an interesting live show for you. Movie TV Bouquet brings you another interesting live show starting on 9th May. Every Fridays, 15 hours to 16 hours. Catch us live on Ask Movie TV, or better still, on Topstar Channel 96 on Litovia. Wapadera, an interesting live show for you. Movie TV Bouquet brings you another interesting live show starting on 9th May. Every Fridays, 15 hours to 16 hours. Catch us live on Ask Movie TV, or better still, on Topstar Channel 96 on Litovia. Wapadera, an interesting live show for you. Movie TV Book.
Mwatile mukenda na ine, mwatile mukaba na ine, mumpili mumikongo, mwanda ilio kunjika tokuboko, na papene iseni, baya we, munkoshe, inepalwa ndina filwa, emonekele, imwende ita, oh Yesu, 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 imwende kabila, oh Yesu, 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 oh tungeni mwewa, oh tungeni mwewa, oh tungeni mwewa, balwantina. Imwende ita, oh Yesu, yeah, Yesu, yeah, yeah. Imwende ita, Yesu, yeah, Yesu, oh Yesu, oh tungeni mwewa, oh tungeni mwewa, oh tungeni mwewa, balwantina. Aya mafya ndepitamu yakulisha pamweo wangu. Wawaishimo mutundu wafilamba vyanjini we. Wawaishimo muti wakunda papa mutima wandi ni we. Na papele sa we Yesu sa. Ubonekela papa nwele bonse vapola we Yesu sa. Eta kobe chako sakuriwe Yesu sa. We wanjitile kushimikile bilasuma we Yesu sa. Isa we Yesu oh sa.
Wikeni kwengala iya sasa nasekwa pafula. Wikeni kwengala iya sasa nalila pafula ye. Wikeni kwengala iya sasa lekeni na inesefie. Udunde bende betwa fula kubalwa niwani sebulule kwenso ni Yeswe. Wigeni kwengala iya sasa kalubula ni mwe. Kalubula ni mwe. Jinjeni kweshina. Yesu, Yesu, Yesu. Yesu, Yesu, Yesu. wikeni kwengala ya sasa. Hey, Yesu, wikeni kwengala ya sasa. We Yesu,
mwatile mukenda na ine, mwatile mukaba na ine, bili mubikonko, mwanda ilio kunjika tokubuko, napapene isi, obaya we, ine balwa ndina, emonekele, ni mwende kabila. Yesu, Yesu, Yesu,
Okalubu na wanti ni mwe.
Yesu, Yesu, Yesu,
Oh, Pyungeni,
yungeni mwewe,
Pyungeni,
yungeni mwewe,
Pyungeni yawe,
yungeni mwewe,
Balwandi,
balwandi nafirwa.
ni mwende kabila.
Yesu,
Oh,
Yesu,
ni mwende lilila.
Yesu, Yesu, Yesu,
Oh, Pyungeni yawe,
yungeni mwewe,
Weba punga pari wonse,
yungeni mwewe,
Weba punga pari wonse,
yungeni mwewe,
Kamwendekele shina ine.
balwandi nafirwa.
Oh, ni mwende kabila.
Yesu, Yesu, Yesu,
Ni mwende kabila.
Yesu, Yesu, Yesu,
Yungeni yawe,
yungeni mwewe,
Yungeni yawe,
yungeni mwewe,
Yungeni yawe,
balwandi
Balwandi wa Yungeni,
yungeni mwewe,
Yungeni,
yungeni mwewe, yungeni mwewe,
yawe,
balwandi nafirwa.
Yungeni, 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 Balwandi.